I learn iPrism, the administrative tutorials, users and networks, remote users. We start off by creating and assigning a default web profile for your remote users, setting failover actions, and then creating client exceptions for your remote users. Let's get started. Remote users have their web profiles assigned to them from the Users and Networks Remote Users settings. This default or standard profile ensures that all remote users receive the same level of filtering rules, simplifying policy administration. Also, since the Remote Filtering Client, or RFC, is location aware, should a remote user come on site, it will automatically disable itself and all internal iPrism policies will then be enforced. Start by opening the Profiles and Filters web profile screen and click on the Block Offensive profile. Click the Copy button, rename the profile to Remote Users, and click OK, then click Save. Now, navigate to the Users and Networks Remote User screen, and in the Standard Client Settings Web Profile menu, select the newly created Remote Users profile and click Save. This will now be the default profile assigned to all remote users. The next option in the Standard Client Settings defines the failover action the RFC will take should the cloud-based rating services become unreachable. Click the down arrow to the right and review each failover option. The iPrism Administrator's Guide has details on each setting. If your remote workforce has a subset of users requiring a different web filtering policy than what is specified in the Standard Client Settings web profile, use the client exceptions to define their specific policy. For example, the sales team requires a slightly different web profile than the rest of the remote workforce. Navigate to the Profiles and Filters web profile screen, click the Pass All profile, and click Copy. Rename it to Remote Sales, click OK, and then click Save. Navigate back to the Users and Networks Remote Users screen. Change the Client Exceptions default web profile to Remote Sales. This will now be the default profile assigned to client exceptions created, demonstrated in the next few steps. Specifically, client exceptions are the unique machine IDs assigned to each remote system during the RFC software installation procedure. For details on the RFC, please view the iLearn video Profiles and Filtering, Remote Filtering. Continuing the sales scenario, a remotely used laptop belonging to a member of the outside sales force was identified as Sales-John during the RFC installation. Note that a machine ID naming convention should be considered. In this scenario, it is used to identify both the department and the remote user, which can be helpful in filtering, real-time monitoring, and all reporting tasks. In this section, click the Add button. In the machine identifier field, type Sales-John. Make sure it's enabled, that the Use Default entry is selected, and choose the desired failover action. Click OK. Upon connecting to the Internet, the Remote Sales profile will be assigned to the Sales-John workstation, replacing the Standard Client Settings web profile defined above as Remote Users. Should a remote user require a different profile other than the Standard Client Settings web profile or the Client Exceptions default web profile, then assign the specific profile using the same steps used for a Client Exceptions system. Click the Add button below the Client Exceptions table and type CEO-laptop in the machine identifier field. Make sure it is enabled, and in the web profile field, select the Pass All profile and pass as the failover action. This type of client exception applies a specific profile to a designated workstation and should only be used for one-off scenarios. Click OK, save, and activate. The Client Exceptions web profile feature allows for consistent and flexible policy enforcement for all remote users. The Remote Filtering Client and Services provides granular monitoring and reporting for all remote users provided by the proprietary hybrid technologies from St. Bernard. For more details on all of these services and their respective settings, please see the iPrism Administrator's Guide as well as the St. Bernard Knowledge Base. Thanks for watching. For more tutorials, click on the info icon located at the bottom of this video player.